Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're doing well. In this video, we're going to be chatting about some new e.l.f. stuff. What you're going to end up seeing is pretty much a full e.l.f. complexion. This is a complexion-oriented video. We have some cool new things they've sent my way in PR. I'm honored. Some new concealers. We have a brightening corrector and also a concealer. We have a special brush geared toward those products, a new foundation brush, so I thought I can work this all into an e.l.f. face look, right? They've launched their new silky powder highlighters, so we're going to chat about that. So yeah, this is going to be fun. And before we get started here, I just have to say this. Emotional support capybaras. I knew they made emotional support nuggets, but one of you guys sent these my way. Her name is Lee H. And Lee, thank you so much. That was really, really sweet of you. Thank you for the nice note as well. These are precious. They do come out of their little basket, but right now they're hooked in. But I'm thinking I might just have to, I don't know, keep them somewhere up here in the makeup room area. They are the absolute cutest thing. Thank you so, so much. And no, she didn't send those to my home because I no longer, as you may know, I no longer have a P.O. box address, but she sent them to Bub's law firm. Thank you for thinking of me. That was really sweet and very unexpected. There's even one with like a little orange on his head because like I've seen videos where they're just chilling and they'll have like stuff on them. We have sunglasses. We have this little guy. He's just the fun one. He's smiling. This little girly girl there. She got her lashes on. It could not be cuter. Thank you so much. So we're going to get started with this e.l.f. face routine for this video, and I'm going to use this e.l.f. Poreless Putty Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. I really like this primer from e.l.f. I think it does a phenomenal job, and it doesn't maybe get as much love as the grippy stuff, but I love the way this feels going on. It feels like you're putting on a liquid that is just stretching across your skin somehow. Not new, but a good one. And then we're going to do foundation. I'm just going to use the Soft Glam. We're going to see how it works alongside those concealers. And then I've got this Smooth Swipe foundation brush that they sent. It says this dense brush's ultra soft bristles and angled shape hug the contours of your face, pressing liquid formulas into skin for a seamless natural look. Wow, it does have a lot of size to it. Look at the gentle angle, and it's not a total blunt cut. We have a little taper here as we go around the border of the brush. But wow, that seems like it's going to be really good. More recently, you've seen me using my e.l.f. buffing foundation brush, and just for a size comparison, yes, it needs to be washed, but it's looking almost like double the surface area. I feel a little more density in this buffing foundation brush, but still this one is fairly dense and just an all-around larger size brush. And then for concealer, we're going to be busting out the Tap and Blend concealer brush. It's supposed to mimic the vibe of like just tapping something in with your fingertip. Ooh, it's like a similar shape, just downsized. If we compare here, we can see that soft angle, but width to it. My current brush I'm often using to blend out concealer is this Morphe M132, and you can see there's just a little more length to those bristles, but more width going left to right on the e.l.f. brush. Feels super soft. I can't wait to see how that one goes too. But for starters, I'm going to use the Soft Glam foundation. This I wear in the shade 25 Light Neutral. I do really enjoy this foundation. If we're talking about stuff that like I like, but maybe fell shy of being an Emily Award winner, this would be one of those, you know? Just still a super good product, solid product, but maybe just doesn't have quite the consistency of staying power all the time as some of the things that got shouted out in that video. Patched it around, and I'm going to guess that we're going to have a very quick blending experience with this size of brush. The bristles do feel a little loose. There's quite a bit of movement. Just initial reaction with this one, I'm thinking maybe I would have liked a little more stiffness, but too much stiffness in a brush like this can also create kind of a streaky blend, and this is giving me a very even look. Brushes are such a feeling thing, and when you get used to using certain ones on your skin, it's like something that doesn't feel like that, you might feel a little bit critical of it, but it doesn't mean it's really doing anything wrong. It's just really different from what you're used to. I would say I love the size. It's kind of nice because you feel like you can buff a little bit with this, but it's also totally going to cater to the tapping in and pressing in. I feel like that did do really well. Something about that angle and the top part of the bristles, you know, you will feel more of a bend happening with those because this is like a longer brush fiber than what I'm typically putting on my skin. I'm working more in this type of an area, like with my buffing brush and other things that I've picked up, but I could see myself getting used to it. The new thing that was really the catalyst for the video for me are these concealers and correctors. So we have a Soft Glam Brightening Corrector, and this, of course, is in multiple shades, but it says on the product, layers under concealer. It says creamy, lightweight feel. It has a wand applicator in there. This is my first time using these, and this is the type of product that I would say follow-ups will be warranted, because you really don't necessarily know the whole story the first time, although it's very fun to experience a product first with everybody watching. So I'm doing that, but know that I'll probably be talking about these more. But I wanted to show you, they did send me also like a deeper shade. So look at the intensity there. That's called dark pink. The one I'm going to be using is the light pink. And then they also sent along a true white. I think that's going to be kind of interesting to experiment with too. I'm not sure how opaque that's going to be. For now, I'm going to work with this soft pink because I feel like I have a number of things that I could kind of compare this experience to that are also light pink, like Maybelline's Instant Age Rewind Brightener. Lots of brands have a light pinky kind of thing going on. And as I look the concealer up online, I'm not even sure what the cost of this is yet. Like, this may be so brand new, they don't have it on there yet. Not seeing it on Ulta's website, but we're gonna try this out, starting with the brightener. Light pink, we got the wand applicator, which I like. Where's the product? Oh, I guess I did get some. There we go, do you see that? It's not super light, like definitely this is deeper actually than Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Brightener. I've just dotted on there. This may be truly much more corrective. We're gonna take this new little brush. It's got that soft angle. Love the shape and size here. I had a feeling this was gonna work well, and I really like the way that's reaching in. You can feel the angle of it, the tall angle reaching in. I'm looking at what this is doing because I definitely had a little dark circle action going there this morning. For testing purposes, I really tried to engineer that dark circle for you guys. Okay, I've got that blended in. I really thought this was going to turn out to be more like one of those brightening correctors, but it's really being much more straight up corrective, because you guys know it has to be that way, right? If you've got any darkness, the light pinky things like e.l.f.'s Putty Corrector, it's kind of correcting, but it's also doing a brightening job on you. And then there are other correcting products that are just straight up tackling the color and trying to return it to your skin tone, basically. And that's what this type of product is. If your skin was a lot lighter than mine, I feel like you would really see a lot of traces of this product on your skin. Like, I'm seeing it actually in person here as it sits on the side of my nose. Like, I can see that kind of rosy, medium rosy tone. I don't know that I'm in love with the effect, honestly. Sometimes it's like, yes, it's correcting darkness, but then you're also gonna just see by the geography of your face, you know, some places are sinking in just a little bit more. And even if you have color corrected, by turning at a certain angle, it might reveal that, yes, there's a little bit of a slightly sunken area right in there. And I think that's where the true brighteners come in. I'm taking a dot of that white though, because now that I know what I'm working with, at first that light pink felt like such an actual skin tone match that I didn't even realize it was put on my skin. Like, that's crazy. Come on, white. I'm just gonna give a little dot of this just to see. I wanna see how opaque it is. I'm gonna put it in the depths of my darkness right here. This seems like it's gonna actually be really opaque. I'm tapping in. Yeah, this is your brightening element. Look at that. Like, that is truly brightening. I could see the white being kind of multi-purpose, like mix it in with something. Give a dot of that, but then blend it right on in with your actual concealer, just to kind of lift up that shade a little bit in your darkest area. Even the dot I applied might have been more than necessary, and I tried to keep it light and small, but now I'm looking at myself and I'm saying, okay, yeah, I've been brightened. The light pink, more color correcting, not so much brightening. I feel like a lot of people might buy that and expect a real brightened up effect, but it's the white that's really gonna go there for you. And now we're gonna use the actual medium buildable coverage concealer. So we got these guys that say layers under concealer, and then we've got these that say medium buildable coverage. Creamy, lightweight feel, soft glam satin concealer, just like the foundation called itself satin. The brush is doing great, by the way. Props to the brush. Swipe or dot concealer onto desired areas, then blend using your fingertips or the blend and tap concealer brush. So for this one, I'm using the shade 14 Fair Cool. So I'm gonna give a little bit of this down here. This is gonna take all this lightness and now make it, I don't know, a little more natural and skin tony. And we're just going to use it everywhere where we need a little concealing. But I'm really picturing that white working in like a dot of the white alongside your skin tone concealer. Oh, this brush. And what I would normally do with a brush this size is tap the product out a little bit and then come in with Big Daddy like this and go over, you know, not to over blend. But this can certainly do the whole job as well. Like, it's very easy to work with, super soft. Look at this. Coverage is really nice. We'll know if it looks heavy. I have put essentially 3 layers of a concealer type product on. So I'm doing like 3/4 of the blend, and then I'm going to tap over with this brush. Also, still, what continues to slay would be their Duo Complexion brush. Might not be the same exact cut as what we're working with here, but a way to get that kind of back and forth vibe of the smaller brush and the larger brush. Now we got that coverage going. I feel like I'm gonna almost have to use the concealer completely by its lonesome sometime just to know what it's truly giving coverage-wise, because I feel full coverage with this, layered with the corrector type stuff, okay? It's feeling full, but would it feel that way on its own? I'm not sure. It's looking really brightened up right now, and we would have to credit that little dot of white for really taking us there. Now, if we want to keep going with this face routine, I thought I'll keep doing some steps. They're not new steps, but let's fill in the blanks until we get to highlighter, okay? So I've got like my Halo Glow setting powder here. This is the light pink shade. Why didn't L'Oreal Infallible do one of these little twisty, locky things? I don't know. They really went bare minimum on that packaging and product amount. But I'm getting some of this on my Triangle Powder Puff. And this is going to really lead to that flawless under eye look. I'm so excited. We're going to make Chex Mix today. Chex Mix, we have a little gingerbread train that we're going to make. We're going to make the little ranch crackers, like the ranch flavored oyster crackers that you bake. Just all kinds of holiday fun on the agenda. I really hadn't shopped at Aldi in a while outside of Instacart shopping. We went over the weekend because you know what you need for the way we make this Chex Mix? You need 2 brown paper bags. And I've gotten to the point where I didn't have any brown paper bags on hand. So I'm like, okay, ladies, I got like all my casserole ingredients for like the Christmas Eve meal we're gonna make. Took care of that, and I got my brown paper bags. I feel like I've covered the Chex Mix recipe in a video before, but Nana is instrumental in this. It was her grandma, I believe, that started the tradition of making this. And we've since doctored it up quite a bit, but the essence of it stays the same. The methods. So after I put the powder on, I just kind of take this brush and I sort of smooth what was applied with the Triangle Powder Puff. And I feel like I'm looking so good right now and so full coverage, honestly. The Soft Glam Satin Foundation calls itself a medium buildable coverage, long-lasting foundation. If I set it adequately, it will be long-lasting on me. But I feel like it really requires that setting. But when you layer this in with the concealers, and let's not forget that like white corrector, you're looking pretty full coverage by the time that powder goes on and gets done. Let's bust out a not new but much loved e.l.f. product here to contour with. This is the light medium shade of their Camo Liquid Bronzer and Contour. Love this product. I've had this on hand for about a year because I remember grabbing it when I was at Ulta on my birthday last year. This is probably like the runner-up product to that Rimmel Multitasker Bronzer Stick that won in the Emily Awards. This is right there. Like, I do love this product. I kind of do veer toward enjoying a stick formula more for this step than dotting on the very pigmented creams, but this does blend well and gives me a really good look. Like, yeah, contour and bronzer have been there. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're like, what did I do? Everything just kind of blended away. These are pigmented. And I'm doing the bronzer step, and Rosie is now scratching at the door like clockwork. Just a second, hon. I'm dabbing this in with my Sephora 56 brush. e.l.f., if you're listening, make one of these. Make it just like this. We're gonna hit our cheek zone. It's just, you gotta be so light with it because it is so pigmented. It's just interesting with this e.l.f. line that's calling itself Soft Glam. And it's like, okay, medium coverage this, medium coverage that. Well, you know what I've learned? If you layer up enough things that say medium coverage, it eventually gets to full. So know that if you're kind of going for the full regime. I didn't think I had that much on my skin, but man, I'm kind of carrying it up as I blend to cover almost a blush placement type of surface area. And if there's any more on my brush, it's coming down there. It does say contour and bronzer, but it's good and it lasts a long time. It's very much along the lines of the blushes that are packaged this way, you know? Pigment galore. We're chiseled. Now for blush, like I mentioned, I could go on with their liquid blush. I want to use a powder blush today, and the e.l.f. primer infused powder blushes are so good. Pigmented, long wearing. I'm looking at Ulta's website under primer infused matte blush. They only have 2 shades on there. Like, what's up with that? This is one of e.l.f.'s like best made products, I think. I've got the shade Always Rosy here, and we're gonna apply this. We're gonna appreciate this product. Look at the pigment on one little like wiggle into the product. Oh, Always Rosy really works with anything. I'm just tapping that in with my e.l.f. blush brush. I really think e.l.f. is doing a good thing for their brand with some of these new things that are coming out, creating a brush that goes with it, you know? That's a smart thing to do, I think, as a brand. If you are known for making good quality brushes, you're turning out things that are durable and work well, why would you not guide people to that partner product? I just think that's a really good idea for them. So there's our Always Rosy blended in. It's pigmented, it's gonna last all day. And finally, we're to the last little step that I'm gonna be showing here on camera, which is the highlight. So they've got these little soft Pearl Era Halo Glow Silky Powder Highlighters. And you just know by the color tone they chose for the packaging, it's looking so much like Rare Beauty. They want that signal to go off in our minds. We've got kind of a domed, baked look to the product. And also it's throwing me back to the days when e.l.f. made a baked highlighter. And it was very popular, but it was very firm, you know? I gotta change my battery. The lightest, brightest one in the whole line would be this one called Soft Pearl Era, the one I've been holding up. And I used this in a short video, just very briefly, like, hey, look at this. It's super pretty and it's not too much. I will say, like, I put my brush into it, you do get that shimmer, but it's soft. It's not loaded with sparkle. It doesn't have any sparkle in it. It's just a really soft, pretty sheen with that one. Then we've got a couple that look a little more medium here. Yes, they did send me these in PR. We've got Blush Money, and this one's called Prosecco Poppin'. So Blush Money is giving that pinky tone. It still looks like it would be fairly brightening too, like would work on my skin, but just not quite have that lightest reflectivity as Soft Pearl Era, which I love that shade name. And then here's the Prosecco one. Okay, so that's giving obviously more of a goldeny shift. Not quite as bright even as the last one I swatched, but still, you know, they're all being pretty consistent in having this texture that is soft, smooth, and not chunky. And then we've got our deepest ones, which as I glance at this, and really this one too, I'm thinking multitasker as an eyeshadow as well, perhaps. This one's called Coppertunist. This one's giving all the warmth. Swatching that, you can totally see very warm and toasty. And then this one's called Bronzed Baddie. All right, looking brownish, but having a lot of dimension. There's that shade. So you could stop and think, like, would I want to use these in sort of a multitasking way? I know I'm not really wanting to welcome in like a bunch of extra shimmer across the forehead. I know I've got fine lines there and I don't want to attract attention, but I do love a well-placed and well-textured highlight in certain zones. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna be using that lightest one. But I could see some of those shades coming in maybe in a bit of a multitasking way in the future. And like I was saying about e.l.f. releasing the brush that goes with the product, they did put out a brush for these too. It's called the High Points Highlighter Brush. So this is small. It's the cut of like a blending brush on the eyes, but just a little bit jumbo sized. Okay, when you see it touching the skin of my cheek, it's gonna really hit us in a more pinpointed area. It's roughly the size of a Real Techniques setting brush, but a different cut. There's a little more flatness with the Real Techniques because it's pinched in at the ferrule. This one is not. I would say this is giving the most pinpointed application of highlighter as far as the brushes I own. So I'm picking some of this up, and then we're gonna put it right here, making sure I'm actually in focus. Right here. Look at that. Soft pearliness. Now that's not blended, that's just applied. What I would do to ensure that I don't get too much on is kind of just dust the brush on my hand and then buff, a circular buffing motion over what I just put on there. Look at the brightening that gives compared to this cheek. Ooh. And it can be hard sometimes in this lighting. I'm very fully lit. It's almost easier to show a highlighter in an environment where you are not so fully lit, because then it can really bounce off and show contrast with the rest of your skin. But my whole face is fully lit, and that is still shining, but you get up close and it's not like a texture problem, you know? Thank you, e.l.f., for not putting glitter in these. I'm getting some on the brush. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna place it precisely where we want it because this brush is not gonna get out of hand with things. And then we're gonna dust off any excess and then get in there and buff that right into the skin. Oh, it's so good. If there's any left on my brush, I might just take it up here to the forehead, but like, that is so nice. It reminds me of like maybe an even more subtle take on Milani's baked highlighter. Dolce Perla is the shade on that. See how that just looks pretty metallic when I swatch it. I mean, it can sheer out and you can be as subtle with it as you want, but there's that. And then you might consider, well, what about the Essence? Here's another baked looking highlighter, Essence Pure Nude. I feel like this gives a little softer take. Even more subtle, even softer on the shimmer than what you're seeing on my cheeks. So if you're seeing this and thinking, yeah, that's okay, but still too much for me, you might want to stay in this lane because this is even more subtle. But yeah, guys, that's my face routine with e.l.f. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my whole face and show you how everything ended up looking. Here's the finished look. I did my brows and I did my eyes. Stuck with e.l.f. for my eyeshadow, just a basic matte look. This is their bite-size quad in I Love You a Latte. Really easy to throw together a quick look here. I've got some of the dark brown in the outer corner. I kept messing with it because I felt like it wasn't blending well today and I'm not sure what's up with that, but midtones are in the crease, light shade on the inner lid. Ultimately, the look is fine. I went across my upper lash line with L'Oreal Lace Shadow Stick in Brown Abyss. I've got Essence Lash Princess Mascara on top, e.l.f. Lash Extender on the lower lashes. I'm really going to be keeping an eye today on how the whole face stuff ends up wearing. That's really my focus of today's look. It looks very good right now, even for layering up several concealers. But then on the lips, they put out a new shade of this. This also I threw on in a short video as well, but it's their Glow Reviver Melting Lip Balm. New shade called Candied Cranberry. And I've got that and that alone on my lips right now. So just a fun little holiday pop. Soft Red fans will like this. There's a nice, really moisturizing feel with these. They feel kind of more like a treatment than just a gloss. But yeah, that is my look today, friends. What new e.l.f. things really caught your eye the most? For me, I'm kind of oddly fascinated by the white brightening corrector they call it, and going forward definitely going to be trying the concealer without any corrector step added because I thought it looked really good. I'm hoping the concealer does well and doesn't require like another step underneath it. As far as brushes go, I really like their Tap and Blend concealer brush. I think this is great. It's dense, it's soft, it's a perfect shape and size. It could really do the whole process for you, but you know I like to go in with a larger brush after, but very good stuff there. The highlighter brush I felt like was maybe a little less essential if you do own a Real Techniques setting brush. I'm going to play with some of the other shades, but this immediately, like that pearly glow is so pretty. Foundation brush, by the way, did a great job. Just a different feel than what I'm used to. I'm going to have to use it more for me to be able to feel like, okay, that makes sense for me, but I do love the surface area of this. It's going to give you a good shot at having a streak-free type of application. But yeah, I'd love to know your take on these products in the comments section. Hopefully they become available by the time this video goes up. Keep an eye on e.l.f.'s website because it seems like that's where everything goes out first. Thank you guys so much for your time. Have a wonderful Christmas and I will see you again soon. I love you. Bye.